So this week I was lucky enough to attend Cineworld's Unlimited screening of Searching, which has completed the festival circuit with a set of mixed reviews going by IMDb's scoring. However, it did win 2 awards at Sundance, and with this film not releasing properly until the 3rd of August, I naturally had to check it out. Searching is directed by Aneesh Chaganty and stars John Cho, Joseph Lee, Debra Messing and Michelle La, and it is about the Kim family and the search for missing daughter Margot, all told through the internet. There is not a single traditional shot in this, with the whole thing being told through internet search engines, newscasts, FaceTime, social media, iMessage, and I believe that's why it has garnered a mixed response by film fans, as it is a very niche genre and has generally produced more bad than good, and traditionally it is used as a horror genre. Well, the ironic thing I like about this is that whilst it is effectively a thriller, this does have themes of horror in there, and they are very subtle. Think about it. It is about Mr. Kim's daughter who has gone missing, and he comes to not only worry about her whereabouts, but also discovers that he effectively knows nothing about her, and he has to delve into the internet world that a lot of adults still struggle to grasp. So for Mr. Kim, this is a horror story from his perspective. And when delving into the internet, this film does a fantastic job of showing the good and bad sides of the internet. Honestly, this film is more clever than it seems on the surface level, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if this is shown in film study classes 10 years from now. So it's easy to see why this film won those 2 Sundance Awards. It covers things like two-faced people, privacy, misreading context from online conversations, trolls, hashtags, the pointlessness of thoughts and prayers, but the power of trending. Literally a few weeks ago, the whole Thailand cave incident spread like wildfire and trending through the internet. These stories of hope are powerful, and the internet helps amplify and connect people, so it really uses that aspect really well. This film has easily got the best use of the internet concept in film. You can tell this is a love letter to the internet in a way, especially after the upstyle opening detailing the early days of the internet to what it is today, and it is scary to see how far it has come. Now, in terms of accessibility, this concept may deter audiences, and I will admit I had a huge reservation in the first 10 minutes, but once you get over that initial adjustment period and let the editing and screenplay carry you forward, the concept feels very natural and normal, or at least it was in the case for myself. As for the performances, I will be honest, I don't see any future Oscar winners in here, and the characters just feel like pieces on a chessboard. But considering these actors are effectively having to act with a screen, they do a pretty good job. Chon Cho has to be believable as this worried father character, and brings up the tension when required, and with only FaceTime and webcams to work on, he does a good enough job to draw the audience in. I personally am very interested to see a behind the scenes, just to see if they were truly working off just webcams, as this does have a better executed style of Unsane's concept. Debra Messing plays a detective assigned to help with the case, and she is really the only character we get to see bounce off of Cho outside of FaceTime interactions, so this relationship has to have a connection, being the only real human interaction. And to be fair, she did come across as a professional detective, not getting too invested, but opening up when a human touch is required. As for the rest of the cast, there is very little going for it. Michelle La, who plays Margot, effectively has to act through facial work, which she does a good job at, but we never really get to know her as anything more than the main plot device. Mr. Kim also has a brother called Peter, played by Joseph Lee, who again is just a plot device to give Mr. Kim more people to interact with. The concept is the star here, and the characters are just spokes on the wheel in the end. As for the story, there are hits and misses, hence why this review lacks my usual positive and negative sections. Obviously, with this being a mystery film, there are so many red herring characters dangled in front of you, it is hard to keep track. The plot goes through so many twists and turns, as with most mysteries, with little things like a line of dialogue or a photo changing the complexity of the plot. While this method is usually welcomed, it does feel like we, the audience, are the dog constantly being told to fetch endlessly, and it does feel the film tries too hard to stretch the runtime. The film is only 102 minutes long, including credits, but that time is felt as they try their hardest to stretch the concept out. And while I do enjoy the ride of a mystery with many revelations, after the third or fourth reveal, the film traps itself. In films like this, you can accept that things can either end in a good or a bad way, but at a certain point this film has to end in a certain way to please the audience due to the amount of twists and false red herrings sprinkled throughout the latter half. But credit where it is due, the editing of this is outstanding. You can't have a film like this without a good pair of hands editing the clips together, and while there are hiccups, the script does so well to sprinkle the clues throughout, and while someone overthinking can probably figure out the climax, a viewer that's just going for the ride will feel that eureka feeling when that time does come. Overall, I would recommend people go see this one once it comes out, as it is a very interesting picture, and if requested, I will do a spoiler review once it gets to its general release on August 31st here in the UK. I do want to watch it a second time to check on the clues that I did miss, though I will say if you are looking for deep character arcs, you will only find that within the first 5 minutes, after which the concept takes center stage, and the concept alone will definitely detract traditionalists. But with how the concept was handled and how well made this manages to be, I would say Searching is worth a watch, albeit needing a bit more sugar. So Searching, have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Hit that round subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time. This is that Spikehead Podcast signing off.